Apple's already ramping up production of the standard iPhone 17 after a launch weekend that surprised even them. According to the information, Apple's told to suppliers to boost daily iPhone 17 output by at least 30% following stronger than expected pre-orders. Priced at $799, the 17 comes in a full $200 cheaper than the iPhone Air and $300 less than the iPhone 17 Pro, yet it now shares Pro features like the always-on display and 120Hz. With the Air delayed in China because of eSIM regulations, demand there is tilting sharply towards the base 17, and early signals suggest the Pro models aren't selling at their usual pace. Apple even updated its internal forecast to prioritize the standard model, something we don't see often. All of this sets the stage for what quietly might be the real star of the lineup. And honestly, I genuinely foresaw this iPhone becoming a massive hit, and now it's here. It's obvious why this will not only be the best-selling iPhone of the year, but also one of the best value iPhones Apple's ever released. This isn't just another yearly refresh. The 17 represents a perfect balance of price, performance, and features that make it the obvious choice for most consumers. Let's break down why I predicted the success and why it's shaping up to dominate the market in 2025 and likely also 2026. First, the pricing strategy. At $799, the 17 is Apple's most affordable flagship this year, but that figure doesn't tell the whole story. It sits alongside three other models: the new ultra-thin Air at $999, the feature-packed 17 Pro at $1099, and the massive 6.9-inch 17 Pro Max, which of course starts at an even higher $1199. By positioning the 17 at a sweet spot price, while raising the entry-level price of the Pro models, it now makes the base model seem like an even better deal, because it's a whopping $300 less for not that many compromises. Apple's also simplified the lineup in a way that makes sense. The Plus model's now gone, replaced by the Air. Instead of confusing buyers with overlapping sizes and prices, Apple now has a clear four-phone family: the 6.3-inch 17, the 6.5-inch Air, the 6.3-inch 17 Pro, and the 6.9-inch 17 Pro Max. That simplicity makes choosing easy, and it strengthens the iPhone 17's position as the go-to option. People like clear choices, and Apple just made the $799 model the de facto choice for anyone who doesn't specifically want the Pro's extra features. By the way, if you're enjoying this deep dive and want to stay ahead of all the Apple news, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also tap the hype button. It really helps a small channel like mine keep bringing you detailed breakdowns like this. Anyway, the hardware itself makes the case even stronger. One of the key reasons I predicted the 17's success months ago was because Apple was finally going to give us some of the upgrades people have been asking for without compromising the price. The 17 now supports a 6.3-inch display, up from 6.1 inches on iPhone 16. It's a small increase on paper, but it does make a big difference in data usage. Apple achieved this by reducing the bezels, so even though the phone is a little taller, thicker, and heavier, it does still feel manageable in one hand, while giving you more screen real estate for content, gaming, and typing. The display, though, is where Apple really made its biggest play. For the first time ever, the standard iPhone gets Pro Motion. Yes, the 17 supports an adaptive refresh rate up to 120Hz, finally delivering the smooth scrolling and responsiveness that was previously locked to the Pro models. That alone is a game changer for everyday users. It also enables the always-on display, which has been one of the most requested features. Combine that with a peak outdoor brightness of 3000 nits, up from 2000 nits on the iPhone 16, and you have a screen that not only looks gorgeous indoors, but also stays perfectly visible in bright sunlight. Ceramic Shield 2 also protects the panel and offers 3 times better scratch resistance, whilst also being tougher. Cameras remain a huge selling point, and Apple did not hold back with the 17. This phone features a 48-megapixel Fusion wide-angle lens and a 48-megapixel ultra-wide, replacing last year's 12-megapixel ultra-wide. The Fusion lens supports 2x optical quality zoom, giving you 0.5, 1x, and 2x options without any quality loss. The ultra-wide camera also offers improved low-light performance and macro capabilities, making it ideal for landscape shots or creative close-ups. On the front, there's a clever 18-megapixel selfie camera with a clever square sensor that allows you to shoot both in portrait and landscape without physically rotating the phone. It also supports center stage for video calls, improved stabilization for shake-free videos, and even a dual capture mode that records 4K Dolby Vision video from the back and front camera simultaneously, perfect for reaction-style content or vlogs. Powering all this is the new A19 chipset built upon Apple's third-generation 3nm process. Inside, there's a 6-core CPU, a 5-core GPU with neural accelerators, and a 16-core neural engine optimized for on-device generative AI. Apple also includes 8 gigs of better RAM, and an updated display engine for that buttery ProMotion experience. Even though the 17 did not get the Pro model's advanced thermal redesign, it does still benefit from last year's improved heat dissipation, so it stays cooler under heavy usage. Whether you're gaming, editing 4K video, or running AI-driven photo edits, this chip can handle it all pretty effortlessly. Battery life's another win. Apple claims up to 30 hours of video playback or 27 hours of streaming, which is 6 hours longer than the iPhone 16. Now, real-life testing doesn't show as big of a jump, but regardless, battery life is slightly better, and to be honest, the 16 was already pretty good for me. I was easily getting 8 hours of screen on time, and so the 17 being slightly better is great news. Charging is faster as well. The 17 can hit 50% in 20 minutes with a 40-watt higher power adapter, while its charging via MagSafe or Qi 2 reaches 25 watts and can still hit 50% in about 30 minutes. Plus, there's a smart new adaptive power mode in iOS 26 that dynamically manages power to extend your battery life even further when you do need it. Connectivity hasn't been overlooked either. The 17 now includes a Qualcomm X80 modem with improved 5G, a new Apple N1 networking chipset with Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 6, and Thread support for smart home devices. There's also a second generation ultra-wideband chipset for more precise location tracking, NFC for Apple Pay, and of course, safety features like emergency SOS via satellite, messages via satellite, and crash detection. And let's not forget the colors. The 17 comes in lavender, mist blue, sage, black, and white, all elegant shades that look great with the frosted glass finish. All of these upgrades add up to a phone that feels far more premium than its $799 price tag does suggest, and that's exactly why I was confident from the start the 17 would be a runaway hit. Apple's carefully positioned this device to capture the widest audience, people upgrading from older iPhones who want cutting-edge features without breaking the bank, Android switchers looking for stability and ecosystem perks, and even some pro users who might decide the base model now offers enough power and display quality to skip the upsell. I'm certainly tempted by the base 17 as a 14 Pro Max user because, aside from the lack of a telephoto, this doesn't feel like that big of a downgrade. So was it easy to predict the 17 would be a success? Honestly, yes. Apple followed a familiar but brilliant formula: take the most important upgrades, bigger and brighter display, 120Hz, better cameras, faster charging, stronger battery life, and bring them to the mainstream model without inflating the price. That's exactly what people have been asking for, and Apple's delivered. The icing on the cake as well is double the base storage as standard. It's also worth noting how popular the iPhone 16 was. According to Counterpoint Research, the 16 was the world's best-selling smartphone for Q1 2025, beating out both the 16 Pro and Pro Max. That was a bit of a surprise given the Pro models have more cameras and premium materials, but it shows that most just value a balanced experience over extra bells and whistles. Clearly, most users don't feel the need to pay the extra for these features, which made the 16 the default choice for the majority of consumers. Given that history, it's now easy to predict the 17 is going to follow in its footsteps and likely become the best-selling model in this year's lineup as well. Apple's refined the base iPhone experience in ways that appeal to almost everyone, and that's exactly the sweet spot for mass market success. To sum up guys, the 17 might seem boring on the surface, but this is gonna be a big hit. It's priced to appeal to the masses, packed with flagship features, and designed to stay relevant for years. Whether you're upgrading from an older iPhone, switching from Android, or simply looking for the best balance of price and performance, the 17 is the phone to be in 2025. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to subscribe and click that hype button before you go. It helps this small channel grow and ensures you never miss the latest Apple updates, reviews, and predictions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.